Okay, so we've been talking quite a bit about hip hop, but we've stopped with talking about young people. And when you started talking about the Sugar Hill Gang, I wanted to ask you about early hip hop memories. So I'm not going to do the brown sugar. When did you first fall in love with hip hop? But I mean, what is it that you remember that I remember that makes you nostalgic, that makes you still kind of fall in love with hip hop? Now I just did
I mean, like, I just remember, like, my first record ever that I bought myself
it.
was Planet Rock.
Okay.
And just like I had older sister and an older brother they were like teenagers when that came out, so they were into all that. So it exposed me to it, and they would come home with the latest dance and the latest songs, and I just loved that. And that's who actually put me on to listening to like the street beat. And WDAS here in Philly also had like they used to play hip hop on Saturday nights, I believe. And my sister taught me, like, I'd sit there by the stereo and record and press pause when the commercials would come on, and I kept all of my tapes.
Do you still have them?
Yeah, I do.
I still remember. It's funny you said that because I remember staying up so late trying to catch the audio too.
Oh,
Milk is Chilling. It
and
took
see,
me
I have
forever.
that record. But yeah, I mean, just because it was so new, and we didn't know then, because they said, "Oh, this is not going to last. It's just a fad." Look how disco came in and went right back out. But it was just like interesting to just see how it's evolved. And like my favorite era is actually from about maybe 1987 to like maybe early 90s, because I loved Boogie Down Productions, like Eric B and Rakim, Slick Rick. And then when Tribe came out, and it was just like a different sound, like I loved all of it. And even with Wu Tang, so that Wu Tang came out like 95, like somewhere around
before that.
Well,
93.
Yeah, they kind of blew up. Yeah, they were on the scene because I remember they came down to Hampton when I was a sophomore, and they were just kind of getting on the scene a little bit. And Protect Your Neck was out, but they really started to blow up like right after that with and Nas and Biggie. That was like '94. So I like that whole little between that time frame. Like I say, from '87 to about '95 was my favorite era. Kind of in '87, you had everything was like kind of political. Well, not everything, but Karis One was very political. Public Enemy, it's just that was that conscious rap, and then it just kind of transitioned. And Tribe was still kind of, they were conscious, but it was a different sound. And
but almost a natural progression.
Yeah, and then kind of just dropped off. Like,
what happened when? So
I mean, most of that was New York hip hop. Philly was still in it because, like, in that time era, the Roots came up, and the Roots are one of my favorite rap groups ever. I have like everything that they came out with. But they also have
organics.
Yes, I do.
All right.
And but that went along kind of with that sound, that Tribe sound, and that Philly sound, and
So you were talking about your love of hip hop, and you were talking about a lot of East Coast artists, and I would mirror that. But what are your other regional influences?
Then I guess around the early '90s, you had Snoop Dogg came on the scene with Dr. Dre and Easy E and all that. That was actually the early '80s when the Easy E and them came out, and I fought it at first because it was just a different type of sound, and they wanted to label it gangsta rap, but like there are no gangsters in rap. Like seriously, okay. I mean it was just a West Coast sound. They used a lot of Parliament funkadelic beats and stuff like that, and it was just like I said, a different sound. And I mean every region has their time to shine, kinda, and that's what's happening or what has happened. And I don't really feel a lot of the down south music. Like certain artists, like I love Luda, I love T.I., I love Jeezy, but I can really do without. I'm not a big fan of Nelly and his people. I did like Bone Thugs. That was Midwest. I love Common. Midwest. Kanye. You know, when he's not throwing a temper tantrum. Like I like all of that, and I buy all of that. But just a lot of like, dude, a Ricky Bobby and like it's kind of taking it. Yeah, I can't get with it.
I want to go back. I don't want to stop talking about hip hop that we love, but whose moment is it right now?
That's a good question. I would say right now, probably down south still. The Northeast is trying to come back. You know, Jay just came out with a CD that I love. Ghostface, I love his latest. I think actually this month is probably one of his best CDs that he's put out. Like I have all of his stuff, but this last CD that he put out, I could listen to it from beginning to end.
Well, let's just take a short departure since we are both Ghost fans and we'll fight for his love.
Really put me on the spot here without any forewarning.
All right. Well, that's fine. Then we'll use these for your questions.
Okay.
Okay. So then, I just want to thank you for taking the time out to do this for me. I don't know what will come of this site, but I think there actually is a place for it and a place for us.
Make sure you do the cutting here.
Plenty of cutting that's going to happen. Is there a website so my classmates who are in New York could?
If you want to tune in to Batcave Radio, it's on wkdu.org every Thursday morning between 12 a.m. and 3 a.m.
All right.